Okay, I'm going to start this with a prayer to the One Take Video gods because my camera phone is almost out of battery and I'm just out here watering my lawn. But this is an important subject, and I think I'm going to title this video Failure is an Option. And I will get to why soon. But this is kind of a motivational video because I have several friends right now. Now, let's all face it, the economy is crap at the moment. And if you've got a head on your shoulders, you know why. You don't need me to tell you. All right, times are tough. And it's a lot of work just to stay afloat. But I've got several friends right now who are living in hotels. I have friends who can't afford food even though they have a job, and they can't get food stamps because they do have a job. And at the same time, they are dreaming of doing what I'm doing right now. And what I'm doing right now is no easy feat, by the way. I hope I don't give any illusions that this is me just living the dream and waking up and doing what I want to do every day. It's not. I have to make sure, if you notice, my grass is dead because it's a drought, but I'm trying to keep some of my plants alive. You know, I've got to take time to do the chores. I've got to take time to go to work every day. I have a full-time job, and my friends know what that is. It's actually a job I'm very grateful for. It's a fantastic job. It's one I'm grateful to be doing. But at the same time, you know, the money that it makes in the past would have been great. Right now, not so much. But I'm grateful to be living in a house, to have a job. My wife has a job. I've got beautiful kids, that sort of thing. But I've got these friends that are living in hotels right now. And it's bumming me out because they're my age and they're struggling and they've got big dreams. And you know what? A lot of people are saying to them right now, hey, forget about those dreams, at least at the moment. Some of them are telling them forget about these dreams permanently. Or, you know, like, you know, put a head on your shoulders, all that sort of thing, you know. But I'm telling you right now, hold on to that dream. It still can come true. It's only the people that choose not to pursue that dream that fail, or to give up on that dream, I should say. Yeah, so much for the One Take gods, but I'm leaving this all in. So I had a little disagreement with my wife, and don't take this personally, but she was complaining about how many stupid people there are in the world. And I said, well, you know, there aren't as many as you think. It's just people are turning off their brains right now and they're making the choice to not think. That doesn't mean they're stupid. They're just making a poor choice. So what does that have to do with pursuing your dream? Well, essentially, it's the same thing. You know, it's easier to make the choice to not think. All right? Because if you start thinking, then you start realizing that maybe you can do something about your situation. And if you realize you can do something about your situation, then you realize that you have to take risks. And risks mean that it's possible to fail. But my point here, and I'm really riled up about this at the moment because I want everybody to believe this. Failure is a choice. All right? Failure isn't, it didn't work out the way it did. I can't tell you how many times, 99 out of 100 times I've tried to accomplish something, I've failed. And I just go, okay, that didn't work. Let's try something else. Or maybe just try a modification of what I tried before. And failure, you know, this is like when Elon Musk blows up a rocket and he says that was a success and people laugh at him. I know exactly what he means. Yeah. You get all sorts of data. Every time I post something to my Instagram or my YouTube channel that looks kind of crappy, but I'm excited about it anyway, it's not because of how it looks now. It's because I have the data that I can move forward with and try again and be successful. But here's the thing. Here's why everyone's turning off their brains at the moment for real. And here's why this is something I want everybody to know, especially my friends that are living out of the hotels right now. So I did a little experiment. And I asked some of those friends, send me a photograph right now of the hotel you're living in. And so far, I've only gotten one photograph back. I consider the person that sent me that photograph very brave and trusting to do so. And I'm never going to out that person, and I'm never going to share that photo because I told them to delete it right away. I didn't download it or anything like that. But it was messy, and they acknowledged it was messy. And I said to them, wait a minute, okay, if you saw somebody that you loved living in a hotel, would you want them to be waking up to a messy hotel? Would you want them in that mess, or would you at least want it clean? And they said, well, no, I'd want it clean for them. And I said, okay, you need to start treating yourself as if you're someone you're responsible for taking care of right now. That's the first step. Because here's the thing I want you all to remember. Everybody's ready for things to get worse. You know, people always go, oh, it's just going to get worse. Well, yeah, it can always get worse. And everyone's kind of prepared for it to get worse. Maybe not financially, but emotionally, mentally. There's always like a worse state you can live in. And I have been there. That's the thing that I really want you to know. I have been in that situation. I have had utilities turned off and had to call to beg them for them to be turned back on. I've had to wait on lines for food pantries because I couldn't afford food that week. I had to take money from people, that offered it to me, even though I really hate to be that person that's taking that charity. But the reason I'm telling you this as I water my barely alive roses is that it gets easy to fall into that habit of just being broke. So I always tried to do whatever I could to be a little less broke. I never went on food stamps. I could never qualify for them, but it was, my dog's running around back there. I went and took care of what I could at that moment. Sorry about the dog, I'm tripping. So, the pipe's not in the right place. I told my friend, clean up your hotel room right now. Don't wait till tomorrow, because he said, I don't want to take a photo of it. It's a mess right now. It's like, that's exactly what I want to see. I want to see if it's a mess right now. And you know it's a mess right now. Clean it up so you have something to wake up to in the morning that's nice, even that little bit. And then start thinking about what's the next thing you can do. Don't think about like, how can I improve my life as a whole or be happier, that sort of thing, because that's when you're overwhelmed by it. That's when it comes crashing down on your situation. What I want you to do is just find those little things you can fix every day. Because if you fix one thing, then you can fix more things. You can move on to the next thing. And here's, again, like I said, people are always prepared for it to get worse. But why don't people prepare for things to get better? Because you always anticipate them getting worse, but you don't do anything to prepare a better future for yourself. And that's something that a lot of people shy away from because it seems impossible. Well, no, it's not impossible. I've gotten as far as, I'm not where I want to be yet, but I've gotten as far as I have by having a clear vision. A dog is not involved in it, by the way. Winston, shut it. You know it's me. Stop barking. I had clear vision. A big car's going to go by. This is going to set the dog off again. Clear vision of what I want in life. I want to have a production company. It doesn't have to be a studio. I've envisioned a studio in the past, but maybe I don't need that real estate. But I want to have a production company where I am writing and producing multiple movies at a time. Some of them are directed by other people. Some are directed by me. Some of them are animated. Some of them are working with actors. And I want a bigger house. And I'd like a junior Olympic pool. And I would also like to be able to give back to the church food pantries that helped me, and maybe some charity for debarking dogs. No, just kidding about that last part. Listen, I have prepared myself mentally for that future. And because of that, I am able to not get there all at once, but find the next stepping stone that gets me a little bit closer. Cleaning up my office, which my office is pretty clean at the moment. It could be swept. Laying out the things that I can do right now, because once those things are done, then I can move on to the next thing. You will keep getting closer. Now, absolutely concentrate on what you need to do to make sure that you're taken care of properly right now in the same way that you would want to take care of somebody that you love. But also know the limits of that. You can only do so much at a time. Don't stress yourself out and make yourself feel miserable because you're not the person, the best version of yourself that you could be. You will get there. It's an incremental journey. But start mentally visualizing, preparing yourself for that. Now, there's a flip side to that. Don't get so absorbed in that vision that you forget where you are now, because you're never going to get there unless you're focused. So you have to split. But for God's sake, don't forget your dream. Don't forget that thing you want. Don't forget that thing that gives you meaning, because that's the key right there. It's not about being happy all the time. You're not going to be happy all the time. You're going to suffer. I just had a hernia surgery. I was miserable for months. I was in pain. My stomach was in knots all the time. I felt like I was going to die, and I couldn't focus. But I endured because I knew that there was a light at the end of that tunnel. I always told myself that. So find that thing that gives you meaning, and then take that with you everywhere you go. So when you are miserable, you're at least suffering for something that matters. So that will carry you through. Anyway, there's neighbors walking by and they're going, why is this guy talking to his phone? It's a little embarrassing. I hope this helps. And this is not just for my hotel friends, who I know has it in them. They've told me their visions, or at least some version of them that they can work on getting more solidified. I believe they can get there. They are not dumb people. They've just let themselves forget that they too are someone that they are responsible for taking care of. And if you care about someone, you want to see them succeed. I want to see them succeed. And if you're watching this and you don't know me, but you have something that you want to succeed at, I want to see you succeed too. And I want to succeed as well. I want to one day be able to stand proud and kind of like, what is it, Matthew McConaughey at the Oscars? He thanked himself. I totally get where he's going with that, because he set himself up for that moment. He sacrificed and he suffered through those times. So, just because you're not happy now, just because you're suffering now, it doesn't mean you always will be. It doesn't mean there isn't purpose in your life and that you don't matter. That's not what it's about. It's not about being happy all the time. The people that chase being happy all the time are drug addicts and alcoholics and hedonists and that sort of thing. Adrenaline junkies, maybe the adrenaline junkies, at least they're kind of accomplishing something that's a physical feat. So sorry, adrenaline junkies. But once you get that little bit of happiness, that drink, that party, that photograph with the celebrity, or that little bit of status, being able to say that you know somebody who might be important, that's fleeting. Once that's over, you'll be miserable again and wondering what the next bit of happiness you can chase is. And that is a decline. Failure is a choice, but you don't have to choose it. And that's all I got to say. Thanks for listening, guys, while I'm in my backyard watering my roses. Have a good one.